Oh look! A recap again! Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and welcome to the third review of Pewdiepie, starring your two's favorite sweet as he goes through some scary real-life horror games. In this episode, we are talking about episode 3 of the series. Hello, Timmy. Good God, you are a mess, man! As a major reminder, there will be spoilers ahead. Not too many spoilers, because I still want people to check this out for themselves, as opposed to just going to me straight to get all the information right off the bat. But there will be spoilers ahead, at least in clip form, and I will have a link in the description below for where you can check out the full playlist. You have to subscribe to YouTube Red in order to watch all but one of the episodes, so just as a heads up, it's only fair that the developers get the love they deserve, and the people who worked on it, you know, they get the recognition they deserve. So, with that, let us begin. Hey, where'd Sally go? I wanted to play with her. This particular episode, it didn't involve any special guests in this one, at least as far as I saw, but it did kind of have a special kind of layout, surprisingly enough. The setting for this particular episode was actually the set used in Random Encounters Resident Evil 2 Monster Gulch with Markiplier and Dodger. Like, you could basically right off the bat, you can tell right off the bat, it is the exact same set for that musical, and it's kind of weird, because it's like, I half expect Enos to show up in the background being like, this place isn't so awful at all. And Pew's just like, ooh, what just happened? Mark's in the corner, grumpy, and Dodger's busy beating up a guy with a baseball bat. That would be kind of funny, actually, but no, obviously they were filmed on separate days, just in the same exact set, so it was kind of weird. It's like, I almost kind of wanted to break into song, just seeing the fact that it was the same location, because I loved I love the Resident Evil musicals that Random Encounters does. They're always so much fun to watch. I watch them way too much, but that was kind of interesting that was the location for this particular episode.
Damn, this kitchen is ugly.
Wow, it looks exactly like it did in Monster Gulch too, except I don't recall the baby head on the dishes, but maybe that's just me.
Look around and tell me what you see.
Come on. Okay.
Just to let you know, there's a secret passage behind the cans.
Dirty dishes.
There's probably a torture chamber back there. I'm not quite sure what game they were trying to go for with this. It might have just have been regular horror games in general. But I was kind of getting a bit of a Layers of Fear kind of vibe, just for no apparent reason. I don't know why, but maybe because there was like creepy pictures and such, and dolls and such. I don't know. It didn't really fit any particular like game, I think, that we've seen Pewds play before, or if it is, it's one I've ended up missing, but I didn't see like it was a specific game, like it was centered around a specific game this time, like it was last time with Alien Isolation. This one, it just kind of seemed like it was just a generic kind of horror-themed location that didn't really make a lot of sense in terms of what it was, but overall it was kind of creepy.
Dolls.
A lot of dolls, yeah.
It's a bedroom with dolls.
I hope you don't have a phobia of dolls. The big thing that was being focused on in this particular episode were, it was kind of a game of I Spy, essentially. It was the weird thing where Pewds is walking around with this ugly, demented little blood-soaked doll, which was obviously paint. It wasn't really blood, but it was like, he's carrying around this doll called Timmy. He called it Timmy for some reason, I don't know why, but he was going around with this doll, and the doll was constantly talking to him like, find my mommy and daddy, and then it would be like, the lights are gonna go off, and then when the lights come back on, something's gonna change, and you have to point out what changed. And so that would that was pretty much the whole thing. It was the lights would go down, and Pewds would be complaining in the dark, and we'd get like little flashes of what was going on in the set, of what we saw, and then the lights would come on, and it'd be like, something's different. And sometimes it made like absolutely no sense, and other times it was like, oh, okay, I guess I could see the theme going on there, because there were quite a few dolls.
God damn it.
Ring around the rosy, Pewds is gonna die. Oh, hi, dolls. But honestly, this particular episode seemed like Pewds was kind of more annoyed than he was, like, having fun. He seemed like annoyed. Probably didn't help that the very first thing they did, you know, apart from blindfold him, was, you know, they made him walk through water with his socks on, which they didn't need to do that.
Yep. Just do 1 foot.
Oh, that's just me. That's totally not the ocean.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, go.
Couldn't even let him take his socks off? Come on. Not to mention, as soon as they got into the house, they gave him the doll, and then they started squirting. I don't know if it was ketchup or just paint or whatever, but they just squirted him and the doll with this red stuff, you know, ketchup bottle, strangely enough. I don't think it actually was ketchup. If it was, that would be kind of messy, but, you know, all of a sudden, he's blindfolded through this whole thing. He's got a bag over his head, and they're just squirting the stuff on him, and he's just like, why? What are you doing?
Is this?
What are you doing? What are you torturing him with?
Fuck is this? I'm not having this.
Too late. But it had some genuinely creepy moments. Most of it seemed, was basically centered around the I Spy thing, where it's like something disappeared and then something reappeared, that kind of thing. But I'd say probably the creepiest bit was like at the very end, where they introduced like some random characters that came around and tortured Pewds a little bit, like I guess Timmy's mommy and daddy or what have you. It was weird. They had a couple people dressed up like zombies and such, and they were throwing Pewds around and tossing him up and down, and he was freaking out because it's like, they're touching me, they're touching me. Oh, hello, it's a family affair. Are we gonna play Jenga? Probably the big creep factor was probably in the kitchen area, where they had a smaller person dress up as like a little doll, a little girl doll, and then was sitting there crying in the corner. And then when Pewds went to go investigate, because, you know, that's what you do in these kind of situations, you go right up to the creepy stuff and, you know, hope it doesn't go booga booga in your face, and no big surprise, it goes booga booga in his face, and he runs out the room.
I don't like playing with you anymore.
Jump scare?
You make me sad.
Jump scare? Jump scare. Run away, evil doll girl! But yeah, I kind of have to say, like, Pewds' attitude towards it, he definitely seemed a bit more annoyed in this particular episode than he was, like, having fun, like he was in episode 2. He seemed a little hesitant to be dealing with this, and partially I kind of agree with him on it, just because compared to the last episode, it felt very kind of bland, honestly. It didn't feel quite as strong as the second episode. It felt like this particular episode would have been more for the second episode to have getting introduced to the series than it was the last one, because I don't know, it just felt like Pewds was, it might have been filmed beforehand, I don't know. That's what it kind of felt like. It felt like this episode was filmed first, and then the Alien Isolation was filmed afterwards. But I don't know if that's actually the case of what happened. But that's what it kind of feels like. Like this was kind of the second bit where he was still trying to get acclimated to everything, and he didn't know how to react other than through anger and screaming and cursing like he usually does. So that I thought was just a little bit off.
Dude.
Hi, you.
Are you okay? Oh God, what the?
Ew.
You might. What? All right. Come.
I love how his reaction to a guy dying in front of him is like, "Hey man, you alright? You need some water?" But overall, it did seem like, you know, it was really an interesting scenario. I mean, obviously, it threw me off because they were using the Resident Enos set, but the set still looked really good. Obviously, the actors that were in the performance, their costume work was absolutely fantastic. Like, it was really creepy looking, and you could tell that they were having fun tossing Pewds around and scaring him. Not sure if I really got the whole concept of the I Spy, lights go off, find new things kind of reaction. And again, it didn't really feel like it was based around a certain game. It just felt like they were just trying to throw in random horror cliches and scare Pewds with them. And Pewds did seem kind of more annoyed than he did having fun. He probably had fun, but it was kind of hard to tell. But, you know, even with all that kind of criticism, it was still kind of funny seeing Pewds, like, freak out and respond to things like that. And the other thing is, though, compared to the last episode, it almost kind of feels like this one was a bit weaker. Like, maybe if this one was the second episode and the Alien Isolation was the third one, I could see more of a progression going, but the way it was set up, it really felt kind of off. Like, it was a step back from the last episode. I don't know. Maybe that's just my personal thing, but that's the kind of vibe I got of it. But overall, I still did enjoy it. I just feel like it wasn't in the right place at the right time, if that makes any bit of sense. It just feels like this one should have been the second episode in the series, not the third. Snake! Oh, snake! Oh, there's a snake! Oh! But even considering the changes they made to it and the way it was shot, I still enjoyed it, and yeah, I am still curious to see what's going to happen in the fourth episode, because who knows what's going to happen in that episode, because, you know, there's a lot to go through. There's 10 episodes altogether, so maybe things will heat up even quicker in the fourth episode. But for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell. And let me know in the comments below what you would like to see me review next. Bye bye.